I want to talk about the Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro fallout and the gag order. So did you guys all see the news? Is there an article up on VT.com right now about it?
VT.com right now.
The news broke yesterday. Candace Owens has been gagged by the Daily Wire. Why are you laughing? Because I said gagged?
No.
Oh, my God.
That's why I was laughing.
Such boy.
I was going gag order, you know. But all right, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, gag order. You're correct.
Phrasing.
It's a very odd move, but let's go back down the rabbit hole real quick of the Daily Wire Candace Owens relationship and the termination of that relationship. Candace Owens had been with the Daily Wire for several years. March 22nd of this year, Jeremy Boring posted the following tweet: Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship. Candace Owens then posts her own tweet that same day. The rumors are true. I am finally free. Now, let's fast forward to April 5th. That is Candace's tweet right there, where she announced that she had been free from the shackles that binded her at the Daily Wire. And now we go to April 5th. Candace Owens comments on a retweet of a guy named Anomaly's tweet of Andrew Schultz claiming Ben Shapiro is only good at debating college liberals and can't win debates against serious competition. Candace retweets that tweet and writes, I would like to debate Ben Shapiro on Israel and the current definition of anti-Semitism. Shapiro tweets back, let's see. There is that Shapiro's tweet back? Yes. Sure, Candace. Let's do it on my show this Monday at 5 p.m. at our studios in Nashville. 90 minutes live stream. Does that seem like a fair battleground to you guys? Hey, we're going to debate, but you got to do it on my platform in my building that I own at the time that I set with the employees that I staff and the distribution system of which I employ.
After you just left so unceremoniously.
Yeah, come walk past all your old coworkers down the hall, and I'm sure they'll glare at you as you're on your way into the studio.
And I make all the money on the ad sets.
Yes. Can you imagine? That'd be like somebody working here at Valuetainment. Vinny works here. Then Vinny leaves, and then Pat, if he gets on Twitter, starts talking shit, he and Pat go back, and Pat goes, oh, you want to have this conversation? Come in to my studio, an environment that I control, and let's have that conversation. And again, a conversation that I monetize.
And we'll profit from.
Yes, and I control the narrative.
You just know that video would get uploaded with some like, Ben Shapiro destroys anti-Semite Candace Owens.
I would love to see the descriptions if Daily Wire was in control of that and the titles. You're right. That'd be a lot of clickbait. So Candace responds, as any normal person I think would. I'm sure you can appreciate why I'd want to keep this off the Daily Wire platform. Let's choose a neutral, trustworthy platform. I vote Patrick Bet David. I love this because that's when my phone started going off. Pat, I'm sure Pat's phone started going. I'm sure your phone started going.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I know our phones were going off because we're texting each other this and going, "Hey, you should see this. This is awesome. We should get involved."
To quote Kanye West that one time, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks."
Yeah, I do too. I agree. I would have loved to see Pat moderate that debate. They go back and forth. Shapiro responds, says he doesn't want to do it because Pat called the Daily Wire the Daily Jewish Wire, which is not actually what he said. But okay. Then he goes, no moderators, one-on-one, Monday at 5 p.m. We can sit down and have a healthy debate like adults under my conditions that I set.
My fiefdom.
Yes, exactly. So I'm setting the rules, and you must abide by them. Otherwise, you can't handle a healthy debate like an adult. We'll stream it on X and YouTube. Take it or leave it. Then, for no reason at all, this is weird, Jeremy Boring, the Daily Wire CEO, who actually initiated this entire thing by tweeting that she was no longer part of the organization, he then jumps into, I'm going to say his friend's defense, but it's weird.
Well, like his dad, yeah.
It was like, I would defend my wife like this. Like, if I saw my wife getting outwitted and outmatched in an argument, I would come to her aid. That's what it felt like when Jeremy Boring, out of nowhere, he wasn't getting tagged. He steps into this conversation and is like, no, well, Candace, I want to debate that Ben Shapiro. Can anybody make that happen? Ben, yes, I can make that happen. Candace, not like that. Clearly mischaracterizing what had happened.
100%.
And coming to the defense of his coworker. Candace then accepts this ridiculous offer. That was the weirdest part. Candace goes, okay, fine. I fully accept no moderator. I will get in touch privately to set this up. This is a major win. There's the tweet right there. There's all kinds of emojis, American flag. All right, cool. And then radio silence for weeks. Nothing ever comes of it. In fact, I'm like, we were tagged in this. What's going on? Are we hosting this debate? What's going on? No, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody has gone radio silent. Until April 24th, Candace then tweets out, for those of you asking for updates, my team reached out immediately suggesting the first week I was back in the States, we were informed the proposed date would not work for Ben due to the holiday, but have not heard back regarding dates that do, despite multiple email attempts. So there it is. That's where the debate had ended. And then again, back to silence until yesterday when Glenn Greenwald put out this on his locals account, and it's also available, a recap on VT.com for you to read. As the Daily Wire publicly negotiated a debate with Candace Owens, it secretly sought and obtained a gag order against her. Oof. Long title, Glenn Greenwald. I mean, if you're trying to use SEO, Candace Owens gagged Ben Shapiro, boom, right off the bat, and then everybody will click. But I was like, wow, that's a long title, Glenn Greenwald. But okay. Did you guys read the article? Are you familiar with the current up-to-date situation with, according to Glenn Greenwald, the gag order of Candace Owens and what happened?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you who you guys are all like, yes, teacher, go ahead.
We did the homework that you assigned us.
According to Glenn Greenwald, while the ongoing negotiations were going on, this is ongoing, the debate between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, behind the scenes, in secret and unbeknownst to its readers, Daily Wire sought a gag order to be placed on Owens after she had called for the debate. They did this under the cover of secrecy before a private arbitrator at exactly the same time that they were claiming in public that they wanted this debate and were even negotiating terms with her. Some of the judge actually ruled in favor, which is why the gag order was put in place. Here's what Daily Wire said Candace Owens did as evidence for why the gag order should be put in place. The company specifically cited Owens' initial tweet requesting a debate with Shapiro as proof of disparagement of the company.
What?
To have a conversation, to have a healthy debate, of which Ben Shapiro is saying, let's have a healthy debate as adults. They are saying disparages the company Daily Wire. So having a debate, talking truth, speaking as adults are all disparaging to the Daily Wire? Is that how you read that, Mr. O'Rourke?
The way I'm reading that is Ben is very afraid that he gets into a debate and gets crushed. There's no other way I can read this because nothing in that tweet says anything disparaging. Let's define some terms. Let's define what anti-Semitism is, so we all can learn. We all can know. It's great for the people on the right, the people on left. It's great for the whole country. We're going through a hot moment. Then all of a sudden, it's clearly this guy's gonna get crushed, and he knows he's gonna be disparaging or damaging the brand if they get into an argument.
Connor, what are your thoughts?
Well, very similarly to Rob, it's probably because he wasn't sure how that debate was going to play out. That's obviously why they wanted it in the studio. And you can't blame him for, okay, this ex-employee is now out there talking about us. We don't know what she's going to say if it's some neutral thing. We got to control that. They're trying to run a business. They're trying to protect their name. Sure, whatever. But the drop-off of respect that people have for Ben Shapiro in the last year and a half has just been unbelievable. Even before October 7th and all the Israel-Palestine stuff started, but particularly since then, it's been crazy to see what's happened. I got into politics watching Ben Shapiro, like the old Ben Shapiro Thug Life videos where he'd, nuke some college liberal, and then the sunglasses would drop in while the Thug Life music played in the background. That was what got me interested in politics during the 2016 election. So people like me, we kind of matured in politics, respecting him and a lot of his opinions. But now to hear him, like just a couple weeks ago, make a video saying, if you ask any questions, there's never a legitimate reason to question Israel. And, asking questions is a tactic of white supremacists and that kind of stuff. He's not the debate guy anymore. And it's like that tweet that Rob showed earlier mentioned. It's like he only wants to debate idiot college kids that he can absolutely dunk on. And then as soon as somebody pushes back on him, and we're not saying that Candace is right, but for their whole thing, their whole brand being facts don't care about your feelings. And, it's important to have these conversations. Then like, no, we're going to gag you and then publicly pretend like we're still trying to engage in a good faith debate. It's ridiculous.
See, I saw the just ask questions video that he put out where it's like, well, why are you just asking questions? Obviously, you have an ulterior motive. I didn't disagree with the entirety of the video. There is a part where there's a lot of people on social media where they'll say the most outlandish things, and then they'll go, well, I'm just asking questions. But okay, why are you asking those questions? That's fine if you say I'm just asking questions, but then define the motive as to why you're asking those questions. Hey, why is Diddy tapping Justin Bieber's chest in those videos? That looks suspicious to me. Why am I saying that? Because I think, my opinion, Diddy had videos of people in compromising positions having sex with maybe underage individuals. Maybe Diddy himself was even doing that. And he's worried that Justin Bieber is tapping that chest asking for that wire. It's okay to ask those questions. I think you need to also announce your motive when you're asking them if you're just going to ask questions.
And to put it more in focus, we've talked about on the show plenty of times, okay, how did Israel, which has one of the best intelligence networks in the world, miss all the signs leading up to October 7th. Vinny has asked about this multiple times. The United States government has told us it's not time to ask questions. People like Ben Shapiro and Benjamin Netanyahu have said it's not time to ask questions. Okay, but that's a different kind of question than, you know, some anti-Semitic rant if you just want to accuse Jews of genociding Palestinians or, you know, denying the Holocaust or whatever. Those are very different questions. But they lump it all together and say, no, you can't ask any of that.
Well, and it's not like Candace Owens was doing any of that. Here is what the judge ruled was part of the proof of disparagement of Daily Wire. The company claimed before the arbitrator that it did not object in principle to a healthy debate. It urged the imposition of the gag order on Owens by claiming that the way she requested the debate constituted disparagement of Shapiro and the site. So it's not the debate itself we're against. It's the way that she asked. She asked on Twitter. Yeah. And you guys responded on Twitter. So wait a minute. You guys made this announcement on Twitter, right? They fired her on Twitter or announced to the world that she was no longer with Daily Wire on Twitter. So you bring this entire conversation to Twitter. You started, then she responds on Twitter, and then you go, oh, no, we don't like where you responded. Shut up. You can't talk anymore.
Sit in the corner and be quiet.
And he asked her first. It was via text, but he asked for the debate first, no? On February 29th?
According to him, he said that he reached out to her in February to schedule a debate, but then on her behalf, she said that she was overseas filming, which Jeremy Boring said he didn't know, and then Patrick brought up the point. How do you not know
Everybody
that your
knows.
employees... Like, that's... Okay, would you... Like, if we were to go shoot in I don't know, we're like, hey, you know what? We're going to go film a Scandinavian fishing documentary. We're going to be out of the country for 2 weeks. Patrick Bet-David, the CEO of this company, would know. You would think Jeremy Boring would know his talents are not in town.
I would agree 100%.
Two of the things that this company cited, various criticisms of the Daily Wire by Candace Owens on X, including that she had liked disparaging comments. So now it's, you liked something on Twitter, that's too much, we're going to gag you. And I get it, there's contracts and there's non-disclosure agreements, and there are certainly termination agreements as well. When you're part of a company and you leave, I left several radio companies, some on my own volition, some not by choosing. It happens. One was a pandemic, and unfortunately when the pandemic happened, they had to pay me out my contract. It was great because I was like, this sucks, but I get to sit at home and get paid for 2 years with not having to go in and do anything for 2 years. There's different agreements, a separation agreement when you leave a company. So again, they brought this to Twitter. She then responds on Twitter. They're saying her activities on Twitter, the same platform that they made this announcement on, is violation and that she needs to be gagged. All of that just seems like it is that he's scared. Brandon,
well, it's like they're throwing rocks from inside a glass house. You know that saying where, you know, like how weak of a thing is it's where you have a legally binding contract where she's not allowed to say things about you, but then you're on Twitter talking shit about her and trying to provoke her and make it look like that she doesn't say anything back to you.
Love that.
You know, so like I think the Daily Wire has absolutely destroyed its reputation. You know, like Shapiro's been acting like he's this free speech debate advocate, but you know he not only legally protected himself from any kind of criticism, but he's not able to take any kind of counter argument for this topic. So I think they went from being like one of the top front runners for, you know, independent media, you know, to counter mainstream media to, you know, within the course of a few months, absolutely destroying their reputation.
I'm going to give the final update, and then Kelly, I'd like you to have closing thoughts before we move on to your topic. If you're hoping that this debate is still going to happen, it seems as if it will not. If you go and check out Glenn Greenwald's Locals article, which I highly suggest you read, it's very informative, very well written, just too long of a title. Or you can go to VT.com where there's a great submission.
And a much shorter title.
Yeah.
No knocks against Glenn, but short titles.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. I'm all in favor of short titles. The arbitrator sided with the Daily Wire against Owens, agreeing that Owens' call to debate Shapiro and her follow-up negotiations of the debate constituted disparagement of the company and Shapiro. The order banned Owens from saying or doing anything in the future which will tarnish or harm the reputation of the Daily Wire and or Ben Shapiro. Glenn Greenwald writes, given that the Daily Wire had argued and the arbitrator agreed that Owens' offers to debate Shapiro about Israel and anti-Semitism were themselves disparaging, the Daily Wire has ensured that the debate with Owens that they publicly claimed to want could not, in fact, take place. Any such debate will be a conflict of the gag order they obtained on Owens from expressing any criticisms of the site or of Shapiro. So the debate will never happen. And when questioned about this, Jeremy Boring issued a statement saying your story is inaccurate to the point of being false, although he did not specify a single inaccuracy to Glenn Greenwald in his statement. Kelly, I'd like your closing thoughts on this.
I think you guys all said it very well. Rob, I agree with you 100% that Candace just, nothing she's actually said has been disparaging. The idea of a debate has them all trying to get this gag order, and they did it, behind closed doors in secrecy. And like Brandon said, it just shows to me a very strong woman, a very challenging opponent is just being shut down and canceled. So I think it's really disappointing.
And just one more thing before we close out on this. Normally when you exit a company, you're a talent. There is these non-disparagement agreements in the exit. But if this was there originally when she exited, they full well knew ahead of time before they started engaging in this let's have a debate that it was going to violate this contract.
Well,
so they set her up for this.
And then they have their creators. Michael Clavin went out and put a video out where he insinuated that Candace Owens is anti-Semitic, full well knowing that she could not defend herself against that video because they were working on putting the gag order in place.
Yeah.
Glenn even threw that in there, talking about the Andrew Clavin monologue where he said Christ is king is an anti-Semitic slur and everything. And again, that's one that depends on context, but none of the ways Candace used that was anti-Semitic. But it's the same thing that that Viva Frey talked about on the last episode, where they're doing a Trump, where a bunch of people are slandering him online while he's ongoing in a trial. Other people are talking about the details of that case. Then he goes on social media and talks about them and gets fined $1,000 per violation of the gag order. It's completely unfair enforcement.
It just shows that leadership of the Daily Wire is 100% low character cowards. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They're afraid to
go off, King.
No, but could you imagine our company ever doing anything like that? Could you imagine Pat doing that in a million years where somebody's not allowed to respond to him and he's like taking shots at them? I couldn't imagine that in a million years.
No, I would imagine that if one of us, if there was a talent that left and there was a gag order that was put in place, there would be a meeting that was had, right? If not that we operate that way, but if in the unlikely circumstance that we did, but there would be a conversation where we'd be like, hey, don't talk about this person. Yeah. Not go put a video out about this person knowing that person cannot defend themselves.
Well, it's like trying to hit somebody with their hands tied behind their back.
Are you
it's the most
guys
low character thing you could do.
Are you guys sure Vinny's at the Kentucky Derby this week?
Real quick predictions for your thoughts. Candace Owens, where does she go to next? Does she create her own platform? Does she link up with another company? Is she going to be silent? What happens next for Candace Owens? We know Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire are going to continue doing what they're doing, but the uncertain thing here is Candace Owens' future. Where do you guys see her? We'll start Kelly.
I would love to have her valuetainment, but I think that this is going to affect her career, and I wonder if that pause, that lull, is going to be too much for her to come back from.
Connor?
Yeah, I think she's going to try to strike out, be independent. I know she spent time with Turning Point. She spent time with PragerU and also with Daily Wire now. So I think maybe she'll try to kind of expand, go the Tucker route, but
do her own content creation.
But she's a friend of the Valuetainment, so I'm sure she'll be, in and out and talking with us as soon as this gag order lets up.
Head researcher Brandon Aceto.
Yeah, no, so regardless of where Candace ends up, I think it's without question that she's on the incline, Daily Wire's on the decline, so she's going to do great wherever she ends up. That'd be awesome if it was here, but wherever it is, she'll do great because the market loves and respects her.
Amen.
The market drastically lost respect for the Daily Wire, so...
Director of Studio Operations of Valuetainment, Robert O'Rourke.
So whatever I can disclose or not disclose, I would say this. I think she 100% is going to do her own thing, have her own platform, and she's going to be super successful. And I think she's going to appear wherever she can on any platform because everybody loves to have her on. She always has a hot take. She always is quick. I don't think there's too many people I've seen really in the country that can fire off as quick as she can. She's just so bright. So I think she's going to appear on a lot of different shows. And I also think she's going to do her own thing and she's going to crush.
Sounds
I think
like
it's
unusual suspect material to me.
Oh, yeah. We'll take her any day,
I want
Candace.
you on this show so bad.
Well,
Please come.
And as in addition to intelligent and all the things that you stated, likable. And I think that in this industry, you need to be well-read, well-informed, and also be likable. Not have the audience go, I hate this person. They're so boring.
Yes.
And Candace is the opposite of that.